I've had all of this for months now, collecting dust. These have been out of the box for that whole entire time because I thought I was going to be diving in right away. What's up, crew? Minutes, 15-minute timer. I'm going to get through what I want to get through today, which is really just a quick explanation of the things that I have and why I have them. I had a grand content plan centered around all of it, really around the fact that I now have 3 EVL-8s, and I'm still planning on doing something funny about that for the TikToks and YouTube shorts. Essentially, after the Battle of the Boxes, I wanted to go all in and change the sound system of my Evo. This was also spawned off the idea that my back speakers were blown. They're not. It was just the sound my subwoofer was making on my makeshift trunk liner. Yeah, I went down the rabbit hole of what are all of the things that I want to make this sound system even better. Let's face it, stock sound systems, they hit a wall. They're made for comfort. They're not made for optimization of the speakers. And I guess to kick things off, I don't need to change my head unit, the main brain of the entire system, because I already did that a while back. If you didn't see that video, one of the coolest, if not the coolest, Evo 789 modifications you can do for the radio, because it's a full screen. It's the same baffle that goes into the dashboard, and it looks modernized. It's like an OEM as if it was what came with the car. So that's super cool. A little bit clunky on the Apple CarPlay and maybe even the Droid CarPlay. I don't know what that's called. It's very few and far between. It's not a consistent issue. It's just every once in a while it won't connect. But I think that's a CarPlay issue, not the radio. So I already have a head unit. It's good to go. I love it. It has Google Maps, has YouTube Music. It has all of the things my phone has, and it's easy to use, touchscreen, all of that jazz. But the issue that typically comes from no matter what head unit you get, even if it's a huge double din and has all the technology in the world, it's going to be limited to certain number of bands for the EQ. So the first thing I'll share is the Clarion, and all of this stuff I'll have links down below if you're looking for recommendations on speakers and the sound system stuff. I can at least recommend what I bought so far. Later I'll let you know how it goes, if it's worth the purchase, because I would say this is mid to low tier on cost. I didn't go for the highest end stuff. I just bought stuff I can grab quickly. First thing to talk about is the Clarion EQ. So this is essentially going to help filtering of this certain frequencies going to certain speakers. This also will replace any knobs that come with a monoblock amp that you can adjust the level on, because this does have its own sub level. So you don't have to have separate wiring, separate routing, and a weird knob somewhere else. It's all built into this. And for me, I also bought a second one. It's going to go into the truck. I don't know if I'm going to go full all in on the truck sound system, because I would still need to buy a 4-channel amp and new speakers for that one. I got it so that I can use that sub knob and then also filter the bass more efficiently to the monoblock that's in that one. So we got an EQ, and then I guess going from the front to the back, head unit to the EQ to this 4-channel, let's take it out of the box actually, 4-channel Skar amp. That's going to be powering my door speakers and my rear deck speakers. I'm calling it a deck, but I don't think that's what it technically is. Now, you might initially think, man, that seems super overcomplicated. Why would you get an amp when your head unit supplies audio levels to all of your speakers? Well, the 4 speakers are 5 watts each. That's not a lot of power to need to drive, and that's suitable for the head unit. These speakers, I think, are maybe 100 each, or maybe even 25. Let's see if it says anything on the bottom. Oh yeah, look at that, 100 RMS. So these are 100 RMS each, and then the mids are 150 RMS each. This amp is going to help drive the appropriate amount of power to those speakers, and then I can do additional filtering to ensure that they're getting the frequencies that I want them to get and they don't get muddy. These also have tweeters. I think there might be tweeters in the A pillars. I still have to check. So this might just add additional tweet. So I got these for the front. I bought 4 thinking I was going to do all 4 like this. And then I realized, you know what? I don't want to miss out on the mid range. So I bought mids as well, but we're jumping ahead. 4-channel amp that's going to power all 4 of the main speakers and potentially even send signal to the tweeters. And then I have, these are TX65s. It's dirty. It's been sitting around for too long. Those are for the front. Those are going to go into the doors of the Evo. And then for the back speakers, and then for the back, I got, these are Skar FSX65. So they're 6.5s. These look like old school speakers, which is kind of cool. They're going to be hidden anyways. Doesn't matter what they look like. But, you know, they're basic, just mids to give you full sound in the car. So that's all the speakers, amp, Clarion. I did buy a batch of new fuses so I can refuse the sub amp, which I'm staying with my, it's a 1200.1 Skar amp monoblock. I'm going to go from a single EVL-8 to a dual EVL-8 in a ported box sharing the same port. Pretty excited about that because after the honeymoon phase of doing one, I realized I need more bass because that's just the life I live. I like more bass. All of this stuff, I'll leave links down below. If you make any purchases through those links, that helps the channel out. So thank you very much. Let's see. I'm going to hop into the Evo and discuss placement of these things because placement and some of the other stuff that I have to, like housekeeping stuff that I have to deal with getting into this project. There's a couple of things that I need to adjust in this time frame too, which is part of the overthinking of like, oh, well, I want to make this cool big video about installing the sound system of the Evo, but there's things that need to also happen. I'm like, how do I sequence those? When should I do it? So basically this wire, it's a pair, black and white. It was hooked up to something prior to this Evo being sold to me. I don't know what that is. Yeah, I need to trace it back to wherever it connects and figure out what it is and if it's easy enough for me to just take out because it's just two potentially live wires that are exposed. I tied them off away from each other. There is also like a rubber cap, so I'm not too concerned. Then I also have this funky switch adapter. Can you see? Yeah. And that's literally what it is. And I can hook up my switch and play it through this, which is fun. I'd like to organize that better because the Clarion, the equalizer, I believe I'm going to put it in here so that I can tuck it away. It's either going to go there or it might be perfect right here, just in line with these switches, which this is another neat thing I need to fix, which is the AC dials. That I sort of rushed and finished and they don't work. And then with the head unit itself, there's a couple of connections I didn't finish, and mainly that's the reverse camera. So if I'm going to take all of this out and do a bunch of reworking, I think I want to plan on getting that done too, which I have some ideas for where it might mount so that it has quick access to a reverse light, which is part of how it switches on. It takes that signal and tells it to switch this screen to the reverse camera, which would be nice because this whole time I've had the ability to do a reverse camera and I just haven't done it. Yeah, and then I'm thinking under this seat will probably be the 4-channel amp, which will then send wires to the door speakers and to the rear speakers. The next thing that I'm probably going to do is the EQ, because that is a prerequisite for everything else to work well around it. So that's going to either go here or here. I have to do a short RCA cable to here, and then I need to do a medium RCA cable to here under the seat, and then a long RCA cable to the sub. From there, I can do my 4-channel amp, get that installed, which needs power, ground, an REM, a remote. And then from there, I can start sending the wires to the places they need to go and then install the speakers. That feels like a logical way to go, which it sounds like I should be able to do each one of those things I explained in a video. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. I know it was a lot of talking. I'm going to install next time, I promise. If you're new, consider joining the crew. We've got a giveaway. As soon as we hit 1,000 subscribers, we'll pick a winner and send them $500, either Venmo or Cash App, whichever one works best. And then once we're done with that one, we'll decide on what our next milestone is and what our next giveaway is. I got some really cool ideas. And if you're not new, you know what to do. Hit the like button, leave a comment, share this video. Those are the things that help grow the crew. Until the next one, I'll see you later, crew. I can't wait for the sound system to sound awesome.